Zeer News 24 Daily Newscast. Wednesday, July 9th, 2025, 18th of Saraton, 1404 Hijri Solar Calendar. Greetings and good day. Welcome to Zeer News 24, your trusted source for today's major national and international headlines. Let's begin with the top stories. Afghanistan facing multiple crises. The United Nations Development Program, UNDP, says Afghanistan is battling overlapping crises, including economic collapse, food insecurity, climate change, and restrictions on women. UN appeals for emergency aid. The UNHCR reports that over 1 million returnee Afghan refugees are arriving in dire conditions and require urgent humanitarian assistance. Israeli bombing in Gaza. At least 16 Palestinians have been killed as Israel continues airstrikes on Gaza, targeting refugee camps and residential areas. Deadly floods in Texas. Devastating floods in the U.S. state of Texas have killed at least 109 people and left around 180 missing. Full report. The UNDP warns that Afghanistan remains caught in multiple crises, ranging from an economic collapse and food insecurity to environmental shocks and the continued curtailment of women's rights. A joint $10 million project between UNDP and South Korea aims to support over 350,000 people across 6 provinces, focusing on livelihood restoration, climate resilience, and women's empowerment. Meanwhile, the STAST, UN High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, has issued another urgent appeal for humanitarian aid, stating that over 1 million forcibly returned Afghan refugees are facing extreme hardship. Since March 20th, more than 600,000 have returned, 350,000 of whom were deported. A staggering 1 million have returned from Iran alone, and nearly 150,000 from Pakistan just in April. In Moscow, Afghanistan's Islamic Emirate ambassador, Maulawi Gul Hassan Hassan, met with Afghan residents in Russia, thanking Moscow for formally recognizing the Taliban government. He expressed hope that this diplomatic step would strengthen bilateral ties and promised to assist Afghan expatriates with sincerity and responsiveness. In Tehran, Afghanistan's embassy issued a statement advising that Afghan migrants wishing to return home can now directly approach designated camps or support offices without requiring a referral letter, provided they possess valid identification or census registration. Back in Kabul, Afghanistan's Disaster Management Authority chief, Mullah Nouruddin Tarabi, met with Russian Ambassador Dmitry Zhernov. Tarabi urged Russia to extend support with essential food and non-food items. The Russian envoy reaffirmed his government's recognition of the Islamic Emirate and pledged continued cooperation in humanitarian areas. The Ministry of Communications and IT has distributed over 120,000 SIM cards to Afghan returnees from Iran in the past 19 days. In the Islam Kala border camp, 24-hour mobile services are operational, with daily distribution of approximately 6,500 SIM cards offering free data and call minutes. International news. At least 16 Palestinians were killed in the last 24 hours as Israeli airstrikes targeted Gaza's Shati refugee camp and other locations. Among the dead were 8 residents of the camp, 2 from a family in Deir al-Balah and 2 others in Khan Yunis. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu met for the second time in 24 hours to discuss a ceasefire, so far without results. In Texas, severe flooding has claimed at least 109 lives, with 180 people still missing. Rescue operations are ongoing, and officials fear the toll may rise due to the scale of destruction. In Europe, extreme heat waves in June and July have led to approximately 2,300 deaths, according to Imperial College London and the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. Of these, 1,500 were linked directly to climate-induced heat stress. Cities like Madrid, Barcelona, London, and Milan experienced temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. In Kenya, violent anti-government protests have resulted in 31 deaths and over 530 arrests. Protesters demand President William Ruto's resignation, citing corruption, economic hardship, and police brutality. The UN has expressed deep concern and urged the Kenyan government to restrain security forces. In France, massive wildfires near Marseille have injured at least 110 people, including 22 police officers and 9 firefighters. Over 800 personnel are battling the blaze, which has forced the evacuation of 400 residents and caused flight delays at Marseille-Provence Airport. Donald Trump has announced a 50% tariff on copper imports, part of his new economic agenda aimed at boosting domestic exports. The declaration immediately caused copper prices to spike by 12%. The U.S. government expects to raise $300 billion in additional revenue through tariffs by year-end. Southeast Asian foreign ministers are meeting in Malaysia to formulate a joint response to U.S. tariffs and regional tensions. With 25 to 40% tariffs looming over their exports, countries like Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia are seeking negotiations with the U.S. before August. Sports. The 10th season of the Shpagiza Cricket League is set to begin on July 19 in Kabul's cricket stadium. In Balok district of Balkh province, a one-day volleyball tournament among 6 teams concluded with Landai Youth claiming the title by defeating Kanjar Club 1-0. In Yusuf Kel district of Paktika, a 32-team volleyball competition ended with Yaran Club defeating Meterji Club 2-0 in the final. In Momandara district of Nangarhar, Momandara Club beat Kotmesharan 3-0 to win a 24-team volleyball tournament. That's all for today's bulletin. For more updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube at Zeer News 24. Until next time, stay informed and take care.